No, hello. I hope you can hear me now. Hello, welcome to me trying to prep Coriolis Mercy of the Icons Part 1 Emissary Lost. This massive Coriolis campaign is going to be the first thing I kick off 2021 with, and I need to be a little bit sensible. Yay, good. I need to be a little bit sensible and make sure I prep properly, because we're running it on the Free League channel, which is a great kind of, I guess, honour. Yeah, it's a great honour. It's cool. It's really cool, but also a little bit nerve-wracking. So we're going to take some time and prep the first bit of the Emissary Lost book ready. We've got some Sirenscape on in the background. What are we listening to on Sirenscape? We are listening to chilled music from the Cyberpunk Urban Renewal sound set. Hopefully that will help us focus and chill and get everything done. Why am I prepping it on stream? Why am I prepping it in front of everybody? Mostly because I get a lot of people don't know where to start when it comes to prepping, and also so many different people prep in different ways. It's a little bit different prepping a campaign like this than it is prepping for a homebrew, and Emissary Lost, Mercy of the Icons is the kind of, I guess it's sort of like the signature. It's like what all of Coriolis is about. It's a big epic campaign. It's a trilogy. Part 2 dropped just before Christmas. Some shocks, some amazing kind of things happen in that book. We're not getting that far ahead of ourselves. We're just doing Emissary Lost right now. So, obligatory warning, massive spoilers. If you are thinking about playing this game as a PC, as a character experiencing it, go away. There are so many spoilers that we're about to drop from the start. So many spoilers. It will just ruin your game, and I think if you're gonna experience Emissary Lost, you need to do it from fresh. But on the other hand, if you're about to start playing it, start running the game just like I am, this is hopefully going to be a little bit useful. Before we even got here, before I even started, I've read this whole book. I've read it, all of these pages. It's 230 odd pages of campaign over the Christmas period. I read it all. And then I also read this one as well, which is the second part, another 240 odd pages. And I've also kind of read this Coriolis core book, and I say kind of read this. I've mostly read bits of it, but I haven't read it in one long go. If you're here and you're about to start prepping Emissary Lost, you might need to have done at least reading Emissary Lost before we get there. Yeah, McNeil's. That's kind of why I do it. So yeah, it's useful seeing how other people think. One of the things I've learned through playing RPGs is how different people think, like how their brains process things differently. And I never realise, like I see it most often with my kids, how they think through things differently. So GM prep is always useful for working that out. But yeah, I've read all those 3 books. But if we're going to start here, we at least need to have paid attention to Emissary Lost. While I was doing that, and this is classic GM prep because I've left the book somewhere else. While I was doing that, while I was reading it, I tried to make some little notes, some things that I knew I needed to come back and do before we got to the game. Largely, I made the notes so I didn't lose the flow of the story as I was reading it, because it's a really good story, and I wanted to just read it, and I knew I would be coming back to prepare, and I didn't want to break up my momentum of reading it by going, right, okay, I need to work out how to do this and do that and do this. So the original reading I made notes on. Well, the first thing we're going to do is sort out some dates and a timeline. But I didn't follow up on those notes while I was reading it. So I didn't read like a combat thing and think, I need to double check. Let me go and check the rulebook for how darkness points work in that part. I just made a note, like, check this, check that. So I could come back now and prepare those bits. So that's my pre-prep stream, if you were pre-prep. Yeah, words on a Wednesday morning, not going great. This bodes well, folks. I've also, before we've got here, spoken with my players. I'm going to have 3 players for my campaign. They haven't made characters or anything yet because we're not starting until end of the month or start of February, most likely. So we haven't made characters, but we've sort of explored what type of crew we want to be. We want to be smugglers. I feel like we're going for a little bit of a Firefly-esque crew here, a little group of those guys. A little bit of bad, a little bit of good, a little bit of both sort of thing. So I need to work out a way to get smugglers going in this campaign that doesn't feel too bad, because there is smuggling in this campaign and the smugglers are not doing nice things. So yeah, we're gonna prep a little bit of that, and we're just gonna give ourselves a little bit of homework to go away and read some of the bits or the rules that I might not have considered or didn't do whilst I was reading through Emissary Lost. So this is the book. It is 235 pages, but not all of those are something we need. We've got this nice picture of Kua, which is the planet below Coriolis. And it gives us this nice kind of introduction of everything that's happened. This bit, the last voyage of the Razali, is the prequel to the adventure. So they put out a prequel to the adventure to get you excited for it. I think it was part of a Kickstarter goal, and I've already ran it here on Twitch. The videos are over on the YouTube. We ran it with Matthew from the Effect Podcast and a couple of other Effect Podcast patrons. I'm a patron of the Effect Podcast. They put out loads of stuff for things like Coriolis, Alien, Versen. They've been doing some cool book clubs with Twilight 2000 and that kind of stuff. So it was really cool to play Last Voyage of the Razali with them. And what I think we'll do is not play it again. And because I'm going to stream Emissary Lost on the Free League channel, I'm going to consider the playthrough I've already done as canon. That's canon. It takes a little bit away from my players knowing some of the people and knowing some of the stuff, but I don't think it takes anything away from their experience. Also, I don't think these players would have been as nice as Ali and Afra and Fayez. I think they might have taken the deal from Sabitha. But that's Last Voyage of the Razali. I might give myself homework of watching it again, just to remind myself, or listening to the podcast again, which is always weird when you listen to yourself. But anyway, might do that close to the end of the month, so I know. I also need to set up the timeline for when this is, because it does give us a little bit of a timeline soon. So this talks about the conspiracy, so what's happening behind the scenes with the emissaries and why the Zenithians are up to, and the Nazarene said. So this kind of explains all that. But for our very first, the Wake of the Martyr, where we're going to start, we don't need to worry about the conspiracy too much. We are probably not going to get much further than this in our first prep session. Act 1, the Mysticides. So I'm not even going to look at the rest. I know what happens because I've read everything through, but I'm not going to prep anything more for that. So we've got Act 1, the Mysticides. Let's put that down. Let's give ourselves a heading. Act 1. Excellent spelling, Millie. Excellent spelling. And even better, you come back from the festive season with just no ability to use traditional equipment. It's all terrible. Alright, so this is where we're going to start. During their investigation, the PCs will meet Inspector Mecharo and an ambitious reporter, Jailer, and the leads will point them to one Aram Yaffa, a mystic forced as bait. So that's what the thing. So the adventure starts with them. The adventure starts with folks looking for someone, looking for a friend of the family or a youngish, like they're young enough to be at uni. And they're called Nur. So we need to find a way to make them care enough about Nur that they get involved in this. Because from hunting down Nur and meeting up with the things, that's how they get involved in this whole shenanigans. That's how they get involved with everything. The book suggests, let's see if we can zoom in a bit. Let's go 200. My face is in the way. Next time I prep, I will work out a better thing. So the book suggests they might have a relative, a protege on Coriolis who has vanished. They could also have been hired by somebody to find them. So we could have been hired. It could be get my kid off Coriolis, because I think that, but nobody's supposed to know Nur is really a mystic. Nobody's supposed to know that. So I think So I think we might have to just use the tried and tested method of how do you know Nur, and just ask the PCs, ask the players how their characters know this this NPC. It's got a timeline over here as well. This is not the timeline that I need to double check on. This is not the timeline that I want to pin down and check on. This is the general timeline of the campaign and the setting. So the ghosts from Zine, about a year before where this campaign starts, the emissaries arrive in the Kua system. A little bit after that, one of them declares themselves the judge on Zine Research Station. Then the messenger arrives at Coriolis, and then folks start suffering from the Mystic's disease, which is basically a manifestation of super X-Men mind powers. Then, in the segment of the Gambler, and we'll look at when that is compared to when we're going to be, is the Rizali incident. So the little 4-part campaign we played is earlier in the year from where the campaign starts, and then the Mysticides. Lots of mystics begin disappearing all over Coriolis, and spoilers, during this campaign, I think it happens in Act 2, The Emissary, who is basically, in some people's opinion, an incarnation of one of the gods, the messenger, goes missing. And that's going to be... Jonathan, hey, takes notes. Well, hopefully you're going to be able to help and take good notes. But if not, then at least we're going to chat through everything. So the Mysticides, towards the end of the month, towards the end of the year, the cycle of Coriolis, the Mysticides begin disappearing all over the Coriolis, and then some are later found dead. It is a good place to begin Wake of the Martyr. In the segment of the Faceless One, 9 days before the Cyclades. That's the end of the year. I don't know about anybody else, but I've found tracking dates and times, especially from, and it's over there out of screen, especially from when I started playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, Tomb of Annihilation, tracking dates and time and the passage of time really helps with things that go on in the background. Not necessarily things that the players at hand will worry about, but it really makes them aware, and also keeps a bit of pressure on. So from running that with a really sort of strict and in-your-face calendar really helped keep the pace of the campaign, because in that one somebody's dying and you have to solve the curse before they completely die, and because they wanted to faff around in the jungle and that kind of stuff, they ended up taking longer. And well, if you're not going to listen to there is a podcast of it, but if you're not going to listen to it, their patron dies in that campaign because they've faffed around so much. But this one takes 9 days before the Cyclade. But it doesn't say. So this is, I mentioned, I am a patron of the Effect podcast, but you can get this on TTRPG. Matthew from the Effect podcast and John did some art, and there is this Coriolis campaign log. Do I have? So this is the main sort of PDF that they put out. It's up on Drive-Thru as part of the Free League workshop, and it explains the Coriolis calendar a little bit better than the book does. So it explains it. It's got some wonderful things about the messenger and how each week is 9 days with the day of settlement at the end. The Gambler, so the third segment of the calendar is when the Rosali, when the prologue, the words are failing me, but when that adventure takes place is in the Gambler, which is the third segment of the Coriolis year. So the Faceless One is the last. So we've got 1, the Deckhand, 2, the Merchant, 3, the Judge, 4, the Traveller, 5, Lady of Tears. So this almost six segments of the year later, our adventure begins, and it's 9 days before 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so in the last segment, I do believe it's a novena is the name that they called. So it's the last novena, the last week of the last month of the calendar. And there is the Day of Settlement and the Cyclades. We'll work out how we're going to pronounce it close to the time. So the starts last novena, last segment of, oh gosh, spelling is hard, of the year. I think, what is this, grain? Let's come back up and see what the name of the novena is. Incense. So it'd be, what would we call this? Faceless Incense 1. And that's when we're going to meet Nur. Because the campaign starts with us in a cafe meeting Nur after we've had a message from them. Let's come back and double check. Yeah, starting seeing the attack, waiting for the friend at Madame Shari's chai house, and it's not Nur that comes to see her, it's Nur's friend, Althea. But we're sat there waiting for Nur to come because we've got a message from Nur saying, help, or something along the lines, meet me at this place, and I'm gonna explain everything. I'm gonna explain why I need help. But Nur never arrives. Her friend Althea does, and then Althea, some fake guards arrive to try and get Althea because she obviously knows all about it. There's an opportunity to work out that if they're fake, there's an opportunity to flee into Stevedore Central and run underground. You know what I might do? Because my face is in the way of all the important things. Hang on. Let's do that. There we go. That's better. Alright. So Althea is then going to tell us. Relay that she's gone. The thing I want to check here, and I know it apologizes to you. I know it apologizes to you. At some point in the first bit of the campaign, that we need to check the dates and make sure they're right, and make sure we know the dates. Otherwise, there's big potential for some of the characters and players who are very detail focused to get confused or think things aren't quite the way they should be. Alright. So here's a section, Althea's clues. Let's zoom in again and have a look at this. She's a close friend of Nur. They met about a year ago. Nur told Althea about her illness and her visions, and when Althea encouraged tell them a month ago. So what would that month be? Let's get some dates. So in the segment of the Lady of Tears, that's when the mystics started disappearing. Althea wanted to run away. Thanks, Google. So that's when Althea wanted to run away. Nur contacted Althea about a week ago and told her about Aram. And Aram is this handsome chap who is luring people away. So in the Novena of Water, so what would it be? Faceless. Faceless, the Novena of Water. Is it Water? Let's double check. Oh, Novena of Light. Oh, that's not worked. Novena of Light. No. Told. Althea. Oh, I can't spell. So that's when, about a week ago. Oh, no. And that he was a mystic too. A couple of days ago, Nora arranged for the three of them to meet at the Ozone Plaza. Alright, so instead of Nora and Aram, a group of guards showed up and tried to arrest her. A couple of days ago would be last week, the middle of last week. If we just check our calendar again. So we're going to start here. We're going to start here. That's our start of the campaign. That is about when we heard about Aram. So maybe about the 6th. Faceless. Novena of Light 6. Due to meet Aram. Guards turned up. Alright, so the guards turned up then. Althea made a scene and went off to hide. She used the powers to escape, so there might be a news article to corroborate, or folks in the, where was it, Ozone Plaza. Remember it? Possibly, so they might remember it. There might be something on Space Twitter if they go back to that date. Since the 6th, since the 6th day of the Novena of Light, Althea has been in hiding. We don't know what happened to Nur in that time. So Nur, possibly before the 6th. So the last confirmed time we hear from Nur up until the next bit is the first day of the 3rd week of this month. Althea this morning left her hiding place and went to Nur's apartment in the student barracks near the Academy tube stop. As she was there, the guards showed up again and Althea barely scrabbled herself away. Althea found Nur's communicator, saw several messages from Aram, as well as the original messages sent to the PCs. Althea saw no option but to try and find Nur's friends. In the commotion, she drops the comm as she runs away from the apartment. So this meeting that the players think that was set up by Nur is actually set up by Althea. And the last time we have a confirmed message from Nur is on the 1st. First day of the Novena of Light. So all these other messages must have been sent before this first day. All these other the ones that the Aram is chatting up Nur, let's meet your friend, we can do it in the Ozone Plaza, lol. Everything from Nur goes dark on or before the first. All right. After that, no dark. What are we gonna? We'll use the campaign log for myself. What was it? Incense. Faceless incense. 1. Thanks, Google. Alfia sends messages to PCs. Pretending to be Ner. Loses comms. So if they put a trace on this, if they try and trace Ner's comms, it is still like, okay, that's where we need to check. So between the 1st of light and the 1st of incense, Ner's communicator is just in their room. Won't have moved. Maybe it's on low battery, you know. Okay. The next scene is chasing down the fake guards. I'm not sure they will, you know. Important facts. Let's double check these important facts. In the comms, there is appointments made with the healers at the sanatorium, so they've all got to be. Has she missed one? Is there one in between there? Maybe there is. Maybe there's one in a couple of days that they could fake and go and follow up. All right. Let's put that in. She's got one. Oh, what am I doing here? Incense. So we're on the 1st. Maybe we give it. Maybe we say on the tomorrow. Right, we're going to say tomorrow. No's next appointment at sanatorium. Oh, so we're going to do that. Scribbled on the back is a date from a few days ago, before Nor disappeared. Because we think, or we know Nor disappeared on the novena of that week. So a few days ago. Is that before she was gonna, or is that afterwards? Does this date come up again? What is that date for? Or is that Nor's? Will that tie up with her first appointment? No, because she's had appointments already. So a few days ago is a bit of a no. So we're gonna say, I'm gonna say what? Must be late in the, so we're gonna say the 7th of water. Don't need that because it's written down here. I'm going to say 4 to 7. Date on the back of the pamphlet for alright, date for, we're gonna say, alright, so about 2 weeks ago, well, a week and a half, Noor wrote a date for something that was happening at the sanatorium. So, Noor wrote a date for something on the back of the sanatorium pamphlet. Then Noor says, hey, come and meet my friend Aram, he's really cool. And Althea goes, yeah, sure. And then when she turns up, guards try and grab her and she runs away. She hides. She hides for about 4 days. Then that feels like she's probably waited enough, or she can't wait anymore. She goes to Noor's to check up on her, because Noor's not responded to any of her messages or that kind of stuff. So she goes to Noor to check up on her. Noor is not there. She finds Noor's communicators with all the stuff. Aram Yaffa won't have sent any messages because he knows she's been taken. It's just maybe some messages from the PCs. Maybe some messages. Oh, definitely some messages from Althea. And then Althea sends the message to the PCs because they're the only people who seem to be checking up on Noor. Come and meet me at Madame Shari's chai house. I need help. And that's where the campaign kicks off. Okay. So that's our what happened before. And there's, in a couple of days, tomorrow, there is a day for Noor's next sanatorium appointment. When they get there, there'll probably be no one. Any more dates in these clues that we can set up our timeline with? So the fake guards. Nora's noticed someone following them. One of the stalkers is scarred with a shaven head. No squad of shaved guards. So her diary has got several meetings with Aram. Alright, so these don't need to be specifically tied to a date. These are just like coffee and dating kind of things. Alright. What have we got in Noor's apartment? Is this first year student that we might bump into? So she is the one. Noor's communicator is with Mimia, student in nurse halls. If they wait too long, she's going to sell it. New year, new rent and all that. Any more? I'll say it's Emporium. What is the door supervisor gonna say? So he's noticed a dodgy group of guards. He knows that Noor's been on edge. And he knows that someone is selling the comms. Okay, so there's nothing time sensitive there. Visit the sanatorium now. Introduce one of the more threatening events. Alright. So yeah, I think so this is saying they need to go there soon. So tomorrow's appointment is a good reason to get them not to go today, knowing that they will, and they'll get involved in stuff that they shouldn't. But we've got things. There's some street urchins. There's some guard points. Then we can go to these. Any other? There we are. Hi Aram. Hi Aram. Even. I'm gonna get his name wrong. I know it. Jailer. That kind of thing. Handout. Let's have a look at this. Anything else in Noah's apartment? That might it. Transactor. 2,000 bear, that's a good amount of money. Noah's diary with entries up until the day of Noah's disappearance. Alright, so it's got entries up until the 9th of water. So there's no more entries. No more entries. No more entries in Nur's diary. Several meetings with Aram. Entries after the visit to the sanatorium are describing Mr. Power's things. And then we need to make sure there is this scarred, bald man. So, alright. After this date, after Water 7, diary journaling becomes erratic. Up until that point, she did it all the time. She likes to do a gratitude journal. She loves her Pash fam, etc., etc. After that date, she doesn't. Alright. The communicators, students. Okay, so this bit down here is going to tell us a little bit more about the community contains several conversations between Noor and Aram. And then next page. So he asks her to come an hour early. Alright. Alright. So she doesn't go dark then. Okay. She goes on the day. Due to meet Aram, guards turn up. Message on Nurse Com. Meet me an hour early. And he's probably got some sort of space aubergine picture or something. Lots of unanswered calls. Last message. Yeah, okay. These are events that we can do. Nothing in here about the time. Children's story, merchant. Wahib's, Al Saeed's recognise Aram. Somebody's going to follow them. Ambush by the stevedores. Go and visit Aram's house. So when is this? So the next big event is the disappearance of the emissary. Do we want that at the end of... Do we want that at the end of day 1? Or is that going to be... So while that... Excuse me, I seem to have a Facebook beeping in the background. Let's make that quiet. There we go. So the disappearance of the emissary, which is this long breaking news box text that I'm not a fan of. Lots of cutaway. I wonder if I could get some folks to make that video for me and we can play that instead. I wonder. Alright, let's make a note. Perhaps make a breaking news video, because that will be, yeah, with green screens. I mean, it doesn't even have to be green screens. We can do a lot with Adobe filters and shenanigans, and images and stuff. We just need audio for it. Yeah, cool. All right. So we'll find some folks who will do those parts. Perhaps make a breaking news video for... Oh, I can't spell today. So do we want to say that's definitely going to happen on the same day? Do we want to keep the pressure on and keep this rolling? So it's the end of Act 1. Or do we want to keep it without timing it? We want to keep... There's a sudden song, the resonance, there's some demonstrating and rioting. What do they need to have figured out? Ending of Act 1. Group of fake guards are stealing the... Aram is bait. I think you can work that out from just the texts. Nobody knows where the fake guards are from. Nobody knows where their kidnappings are going. The sanatorium is involved. And Judge Kurahan is gonna... So the judge is gonna get them involved in the bigger thing. Straight afterwards. Alright. Sorry, I was just adding in there how long Nurse Communicator has been in her room. Or at least in student halls, because that will be important. Especially if we have a data gin. Right, okay. So, I think we've done enough prep for kicking off. Not knowing what kind of characters we've got. I guess we could have a look. Right, okay. Let's open Last Voyage of the Rosali. So this is the prequel. In it here has got a smuggler. And she's called Sabitha, I think. This is the preview to the prelude, the prequel, the prologue. I can't remember the right words. I'm getting confused. Obviously we need some desperate. Status report. Where is this character? Alright, she's somewhere here in the med lab, isn't she? She shows up here. There's him. Where is she? Come on. There we go. What's her name? Sabitha. Alright, so she is a smuggler, and she is on the Rosali. That thing that happened 6 months ago. And she was a smuggler. Now, in our playthrough, Afra gave Sabitha her ship, their ship, and said, disappear. Because Sabitha, yeah, I don't need to say spoilers, but I did. Sabitha is transporting some cargo that if she doesn't do it, the syndicate, the mafia, are gonna claim her head. They're just gonna straight up murder a smuggler. So 6 months ago, she went missing. In our timeline, in our reality. Your Coriolis may vary. So I think that's got to have some sort of link. Sabitha? So Sabitha, a smuggler contact. My spacebar isn't working. Went missing. What would it be? About the same time as the Ghazali accident. Maybe since then they're on edge, or they've been given some because she's essentially smuggling people. If I read the cargo, no. Emos Corinth smuggle large boxes to a portal in the Tau system. She tried to con someone. So she's a frontman for one of the syndicate. So Emos is a frontman for one of the syndicate families on Coriolis. She was supposed to redeem herself. And the cargo was brought on board the liner. That's not what I said, actually. That's not what I said, actually. I changed it. So, I was naughty. No, I wasn't naughty. I just made it make more sense to me. So, what we had in ours is Sabitha went out with the Rosali ship, and she had a list of stevedores and folks she was told to collect, take their coffins, their portal coffins, and put them in this special box over here and make them disappear. No one will notice, because it's all part of a confusing space mission, and it's all a bit chaotic. So our Sabitha was smuggling the stevedore mystics. That was our link. And our PCs, our Red Spider News Network, they found out after Sabitha, tried to bribe with a big wajabur. A big wajabur. Oh, that's a bit small. Yeah, so she offered them a big wajabur to just bring her cargo back so she doesn't get it in the neck. She didn't have a backup plan ready, but that's okay, because Afra gave her a ship. So she's gone missing, but she's not dead. Maybe Maybe Nur is Sabitha's... Maybe Nur is Sabitha's friend. Or niece. Or nephew. And she can't go back and check up on Nur. And she can't go back and check up on Nur. She wants them to go back and check up on Nur. This is getting awfully convoluted now. She wants them to go back and check up on Nur because she's seen Nur's name on a list. So clearly Sabitha knows what's fucking going on over here. Alright, we need to think on that. We need to think on how we're going to connect those dots. Some sort of life debt. Like Sabitha saved somebody's life. And a weird message was like, if you receive this, if you get this email, I am dead. Please look after my daughter Nur on Coriolis. We do that. Makes Sabitha a terrible person. She's kidnapping mystics, and it turns out her own daughter is a mystic, her own son is a mystic. We haven't decided what Nur is yet, or if Nur wants to, whatever. Oh, it does make Sabitha horrible. But then she's a smuggler. And... okay. If you're... yeah, okay. I am dead. She's not. Spoiler, folks, she's not. She's out there. Alright, so that's Sabitha. That's our map. The Mysticides. I think about done. I don't think we need to do anything more. We need to think on that. We need to make a breaking news video. We will format this up nicely, and we'll share it over on the Patreon for those who need it. And I think that's all we can do until we know what our PCs, who our PCs are. Because we don't know which paths they'll take through this first act to make it. We don't know whether they'll just shoot Jailer Kahari in the face, or whether they'll like a little bit of fame and that. They might be suspicious of the bulletin because it's part of the consortium. But we've got a nice little thing. I might turn it into, this is the campaign log that is the other side of the calendar. So it's got nice spaces for stuff. So we can write in, Novena. We can write in all the novenas, and we can write in all our dates in this, so we could just do it as a list. I think I'll just do it as a list. And then from there, they're 2 separate days. Oh, okay. So that changes incense. That changes that. Call that 2. And Nor's next appointment is 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go, 9. Faceless Incense 2. Alright. I'm feeling good with these weird spotty notes. I don't think you need to watch me change capitals and highlight stuff. If you want to grab this, I will put it on the GM level over on my Patreon, patreon.com/MillyTheGM. I'll share that there, or you can just watch this video. It'll be on YouTube. I don't know. Give me a shout. I'll help. Thanks for joining me. I don't know when we're going to do the next one of these. It's all riding on what my players do. All rides on what my players want to do. But for those who've stuck around, thanks very much. I'm going to go and drink lots of coffee now. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow